Welcome to John Gets Excited, episode 1. This is my first shot at doing a video blog where I talk about the stuff that I'm just really excited about with board games. You know, I've been doing some video reviews over the last couple months where I try and go into the nitty-gritty of, why I like a game, why I dislike a game, but I have so much more to talk about. If you talk to any of my friends, that I talk and chat their ears off, and so I figured I may as well talk your ears off via this video. So we're going to give this a shot. I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that, 4 games in particular, some of them that are out, some of them that are not out, and why they're currently making me really excited. So let's get into it. The first one that I want to talk about is the only one that's currently on Kickstarter. It's called Historia. This is not going to be like a Kickstarter video blog. It just happens to be one that I first heard about Historia about a month and a half ago. It was like a week before the Kickstarter started, and I was initially really interested in the idea. I mean, I love civilization games, and the box had a castle and a shuttle exploding through it and stuff, and I was like, well, I want to know more. So I started looking into the game, and it went up on Kickstarter, and I backed it on the first day, and I proceeded to find out that it seems like it's a little bit more abstract of a civilization game, which I'm totally fine with. One of my favorite games is Through the Ages, and that's a very abstracted civilization game. But this one in particular, it has this really cool chart. I'll put a link to it down in the bottom, and it's a grid essentially. And the higher up on the grid you go, the more military power you have, and the farther right on the grid you go, the more science you have. And so there's a little map on the bottom of the game board, but most of the game board is dominated by this big chart. And your little pieces are going to go up for higher strength, and they're going to go over for more science, and they're going to kind of do both. And where they are on this chart, if we pretend this whole video was it, is there's different governments. So down here is barbarian tribes, and then you get better civilization, and over here is utopia, where they don't have much military strength, but they're really scientific. And up here are future barbarian hordes that still just totally mess things up, but for some reason they're still living huts, even though it is present day-ish. Anyway, that really excited me. The game board looks really beautiful, but the real reasons that sucked me in was, one thing it said was that there was going to be combat that was not going to destroy the opponent. So one of my biggest issues with Through the Ages, which is one of my favorite games, is that late game wars happen and the aggressions happen, and they can just destroy you. You could be 4 hours into a game and just get knocked out. And your civilization could just get knocked down to the Stone Age because you couldn't or decided not to go with enough military, and you just get smashed within a turn or two. So this game supposedly has it definitely has competition, and I've watched videos, and I've looked at all the photos, and I've read the rules and all that, and it looks like it's definitely got conflict, but most of the conflict benefits the aggressor and is neutral to the person that got attacked. There is wars that can knock cubes off of the little world map, but they don't really affect the engine. It looks like it mostly affects the points, which is fine. Another game, Nations, which I got last year, is similar to that in that your engine doesn't really get destroyed by conflict, but your points can get punched pretty hard, which is the way I think it should happen. That game also has simultaneous player actions, so everyone's got a hand of cards, and they choose them, and they put them face down, and then they all reveal at the same time, which is one of my least favorite game mechanics. So that's the biggest asterisk I have to this Kickstarter, why I'm I'm gonna back it, I'm gonna keep it, I really want this game, but I am mildly concerned about the simultaneous player selection. Not because I think it's a bad mechanic, just because in my brain, oftentimes those kind of games don't quite click with me. But I'm gonna stick it out. This one looks really cool. It's also got individual powers, essentially, for the different civilizations through these different leaders. There's a little deck of cards for each civilization that are unique, and they're one-time use cards, so your civilization will feel a little bit different than other players, but not drastically so. The main differences are going to come through how you build your engine. So I'm just really excited about Historia. It's going to be coming out. Oh wow, I went just off on the game. I forgot to talk about it a little bit. I wanted to mention that it's being published by a company called GeoChix. I'm sure I'm going to butcher all these names and stuff, but it's being published by that company, and it's designed by Marco Pranzo. I looked him up. He's done one other game design that I had never even heard of before, so I don't really have much experience with that designer, but I have pretty high hopes about the game because it just looks so freaking great. Supposedly it's going to be coming out at Essen, and the Kickstarter backers will get it by about November. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because that'd be totally awesome. All right, so game number 2 that I'm going to talk about actually came out already. It is behind me. It is right there, and that is Impulse. So Impulse is the latest game by Carl Chudik, who, again, probably butchered his name, but he's one of my favorite board game designers. I have several games of his behind me. Let's see, I got Uchronia. I have the original version of Innovation, one of my favorite games of all time, and he's done several more. I actually have Glory to Rome, and for some reason I keep it in a poison case because the box that the Cambridge Games version came in was just terrible. But yeah, I legitimately have Glory to Rome inside of a poison case. So I'm a pretty big Carl Chudik fan. I've got lots of his stuff. And so when Impulse was first announced, I immediately started reading everything I could about it. In fact, there was this cool beta version of the game where you could pay some number of dollars, I can't remember exactly which, to get the beta version. So I have 2 versions of Impulse. Can you tell I like this guy? And I got the beta, and I read through the rules, and then I read through the rules again, and then I read through them again, and then I tried to teach it to some of my friends, and completely failed, and I am a terrible beta tester, and I never actually got the game played before the official version came out. And it's just because the rules were really intimidating, and this isn't going to be a review. I'm going to do an official review of this hopefully soon once I've played more games, but the benefit of doing the beta was that you get a 50% discount when the actual game came out. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's by Asmati Games. And so I said, screw it. It's only $15 more. I know I'm going to love this game, even though I've had it, the beta version, for so many months and never actually played it. So I bought it, and it got delivered to me last week in this much shinier box. And I finally got to play it last weekend. And we played a 4-player game. And one of the players, we started playing at like 11:30 at night, so one of the players pretty much promptly fell asleep, and so we turned it into a 3-player game from that point on, and we finished it. I really butchered the rules. I kind of stallingly went through it. Again, not a review, but the rule book could have probably have taught the game a little bit better, but we just decided to jump right into it. It was one of my best friends and my girlfriend, also one of my best friends, and we made it through, and I won, and that's not necessarily the reason I liked it. It's just another one of those games where you, let's see, look at the back of the box. You know, most of Carl Chudik's games appear to be card games with lots of stuff on the cards. Also, for some reason, many of the games don't have the most amazing art in the world. The art's not bad, but it's just kind of simplistic. But it's got 11 different types of cards in the game, and then little symbols on the side, and they all do different things. And there's a lot going on in this game. The main driving engine of this game is called the Impulse. It's where they get the name, or vice versa. And it's where you essentially throw cards out into a public pool where other players are going to get to use them. So if I put this really good card down and I use it on my turn, well, it's going to stay in this little conveyor belt of cards that are going to slowly shift down. And other players are going to also get access to use that card. They're going to be forced to potentially use that card. It's not like they have to pick and choose. They will go down this whole list of conveyor belt actions. So you really have to think about, the card you put in there. So this game was really cool. I'm not just saying that because I won. I was really enjoying it from about the 3rd or 4th turn in. The first couple turns were mostly just because I was so intimidated trying to teach this game, and I felt like I was failing, which is crazy because I've taught hundreds and hundreds of games. It's probably the most intimidated I've ever been. But I'm going to save more of that for the review itself. But I just wanted to say I played this once, and I'm super excited about playing it more. It's definitely, it's right up there. So the 3rd game I want to talk about is also behind me. It is right here. Vivajava, the coffee game, the dice game. So I don't actually own, I've never played Vivajava, the coffee game. I heard about it a little bit late on the Kickstarter wheel, and I haven't had access to it. But when this came out on Kickstarter, it was pretty much a done deal for me. I love dice games, and I watched the video and I read the rules a little bit, and it just seemed really cool. I enjoy dice games that have a little bit of engine building, and this one I finally got a play in last weekend. I just got this last week, and I've now played it 4 times, and I've moderated a couple games. I've really jumped into it. And again, this is also not going to become a review. I'm hoping to review this in the next week or two. I kind of want to get 1 or 2 more plays in before I do that. But the thing I'm most excited about this game, well, first of all, it's an awesome spoiler for the review. But the thing I'm most excited about it is, we got this box, and it's just full of stuff. I mean, seriously, bags and bags of stuff in here, and you don't need most of this to play a single game. It's just incredibly modular. Like, this entire thing is an expansion, and all these coasters right here, they have like little mini game modules that you can add into the game, and that's just really cool. So I mean, you practically need about 1/5 of this box to play a game, and the other 4/5 of the box just gets swapped in and swapped out, so that no game potentially will feel the same. 3 of the games I've played so far have been with the tutorial light coaster, which is just good for bringing new people in, because I've been teaching mostly new people because my game group doesn't know it yet, and it's gone really well. Oh crap, I've gone right past the intro again, and totally skipped that this is made by Dice Hate Me Games, and it's designed by T.C. Petty III, which is a totally badass name. I'm pretty jealous. The Dice Hate Me Games, the only other game I have by them is Compounded. Probably going to chop that out. So I have Compounded. This is another Kickstarter game that I got about a year ago. And it's not the same designer, but it's by the same production company. And I really like the component quality of their games. So, I had this, and I pretty much decided, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and back this, because I figured the quality of the game is going to be high. And it is. The only weird thing about this game is that you need pencil and paper to play it. I mean, sorry, you just need pencils. The game comes with paper in the form of this pad of scoring stacks. Not even scoring stacks. You use this to score your engine. So most games I would kind of expected little cubes you'd put on here, and you kind of shift them down, and maybe cubes for the victory point track. But this one you actually pencil in the scores, which to me is, I don't know, it like kind of jars with my brain. Here's a sheet from a game we played last night where you kind of scratch all these things in with pencil. And it really works. Like, the pencil thing is totally fine. This packet came with I think 50 double-sided player sheets. But the amount I like this game, we're going to blast through that real fast. So I'm probably going to look into laminated sheets or something for that. But anyway, I'm really excited about this game, and the more times I play it, the more excited I get. I've used one of the modules. Actually, funnily enough, it was the module that was inspired by Compounded, which lets you like make your coffee brew more caffeinated, and it worked really well, even in 2 players. So that is game number 3, which I'm currently really excited about. And the last game, number 4, that I want to talk about is it's called Imperial Settlers. And it's being produced by Portal Games, who are probably most known for Neuroshima Hex. The designer is, oh my gosh, Ignacy Trzewiczek. I am so sorry. I'm sure it's probably 2 syllables, but it appears he's made quite a few games, most notably Robinson Crusoe, which I have played once and I enjoyed. But these games look like they are really different. Robinson Crusoe is a scenario-based co-op game, and Imperial Settlers is a engine-building card game with what looks like potential for a lot of player interaction. It's supposedly not supposedly, it is a reworking of another game made by Ignacy called 51st State, which I don't really have any experience with. I've bumped into it a couple times on the internet throughout the years. I never invested money into actually getting it, and I think I'm happy because I read the designer blogs by Ignacy, and I think based off of what he said on Imperial Settlers, like what he decided to take from 51st State and put into Imperial Settlers, I think I'm going to actually like Imperial Settlers much more. This game, it also, kind of like Historia, it has you have your own little civilization, and they're different from all the other ones. In a similar way, actually, there's a you have a personal stack of cards that are custom to your own little civilization in this game, and then there's a common deck. So everyone pulls from this common deck for cards, but everyone else has their own little special Egyptian stack or a Roman stack, that kind of thing. And they have cards in that custom stack which kind of guide the civilization in maybe one particular direction or another, like maybe money or maybe attacking other people. And I just love that kind of stuff. I love asymmetric player abilities in games. I love engine building games. It's one of my favorite genres. And I love civilization building as a theme. So this game has everything wrapped in. And I love cards that can be played in multiple different ways. And one really cool thing, I haven't played this yet, it's coming out at Gen Con, I think, is that you have your cards in your hand, and you can actually spend a card to play another card. And it's not like, oh, this card costs 2 cards to play, like Race for the Galaxy or San Juan or lots of other games. It's that, this card might say, if I discard it, I get a wood and a rock, and then this card over here actually needs a wood and a rock to play. So it's not just as simple as discarding a card. You actually discard specific cards in order to get specific resources, which I just think is really exciting. I can't wait to play this game. So anyway, I hope I've kept this short enough. I want to keep doing these. I really enjoy doing reviews, but I also just enjoy blabbing my head off about games I'm excited about. And I'm going to probably do more of these. Please let me know if I could do this better, do this worse, if I could change up my format a little bit. If you have any comments, that'd be really, really great. And I'll see you guys in the next review or the next John Gets Excited. Thanks.